Howdy everybody, I'm Steve, and today on Livin' for a Livin' we are going to talk about a Group 24 100 amp hour lithium iron phosphate battery. And I got a 5% discount code for you, so stay tuned to the end in order to get that, or just cheat and go right to the link in the description and get it right now. This battery comes to us from our friends over at LiTime, and it is a 12 volt 100 amp hour battery, but it is a Group 24 battery. So if you have the smaller battery boxes on the front of your RV, then this is the one that you need. This is a really beautiful RV park. It's a KOA in Grants, New Mexico. We are in for some really bad weather coming up. They're forecasting 80-mile-an-hour winds, but during the midday when the winds are cool, it is a very beautiful place to be, and there's not a lot of people here. I enjoy it. Gives me time to catch up on some videos and enjoy some scenery. Just kind of sit out and relax. Let's go take a look at this battery on the workbench. Let's see what all the fuss is about. Nice little Ziploc bag to keep your manuals and things dry. Let's get this stuff out of here. We have a product manual, installation guide video, QR code, which I guess is what we're doing here. And to register your warranty, another QR code, don't register my warranty. And then all the different stuff. This is a Group 24 battery. So it is 6.6 inches by 10.24 inches by 8.3 inches. And it comes with M8 terminals, which is actually, these are very standard things. The M8 terminals are standard, and the size is what we call a Group 24. And this is the size that's on the tongue of my RV. And I recently did a video where I put 2 of these on the tongue of my RV. Anything else good in here? More than 4,000 cycle times, you're really gonna have a hard time exceeding that. That's 4,000 full charges and full drains. And that's not the way we do things in the RV world, especially us full-timers. So that is a long time. They don't have a spec in here for partial uses, but usually you'll see these and it'll be like 14,000 partial drains and fills. Give it the old 14.4 with the charger. We're gonna have to do that right next. And this is pretty cool. It's a 100 amp hour battery and its maximum discharge current is 100 amps. So you could actually drain this battery in 1 hour. And then it'll do 400 amps for 1 second, which may help with some inrush type activities, like starting big motors or something along those lines. Different charging methods. Here's the parameters to put into your solar charge controllers or into your programmable battery controllers if you have one. If you do, then you know what you're doing there. Tells you how to connect them in parallel and series. And then you can do series and parallel. So it wants you to connect them in parallel first and then connect them in series. So there's some useful information in the manual for you. Oh, stickers. They give you some stickers. Life of leisure, so you can do boating, camping, exploring, or you can just do battery stuff. And of course, we are LiTime strong. Start date, order ID. It's good to write that stuff down in case you need service in the future. And some quick information here. Okay, I'm going to put this all back in the bag so I don't lose it. Right, now that that is in a safe and secure position, this is some of the hardware that we get. Let's see. So these are your 2 battery posts. These are the M8 that I was telling you about. That means that they are number 8 bolts, and you can go down to any hardware store and get parts. If you're not putting a lot of connectors on your terminal, you can take up some of the space with the extra washer that they give you. So they give you the 2 normals, and they give you the 2 spares. And these are all 4 the same size. And then you get 2 extra washers, and of course you can also take washers off of here if you're industrious enough. And then I like these plastic insulating caps putting on top of the battery posts so that you don't accidentally drop something on them. And now we can look at the battery itself, because I need to put those posts on so that we can start up that charging. So let's do the brown for positive, blue for negative, and then we'll put our protective caps on. So the black one on the black post and the red one on the red post. Let's get her charging up. We have the battery plugged in to the battery charger over here. This is my Power Queen 40 amp hour charger, which means it's going to take me about 2.5 hours to get a 100 amp hour battery fully charged. So let's get her started. Full charge. That's what that little green light there means. Now it's time to discharge. We've got the LiTime battery here, and we need to pull 100 amp hours out of it. And we're going to plug it into our MakerHawk load device. And what this thing will do is it will allow me to selectively pull out power while we are doing some math with it. And so right now it's already pulled 1.10 amps out from something I was doing before. Long press to clear that out, so zeros all around. And we're going to take the course adjustment and turn that up until we start pulling power. And you can see the fan start spinning, because what we're doing is we're taking electricity and turning it into heat. And I'm going to pull this out at 10 amp hours. So we'll get real close to 10. And then we'll use the fine adjustment knob, the lower one, to creep up on 10. And now we are at 10 amp hours of draw, 13.2 volts. So we'll be back in 10 hours. Got a couple of other things up here that will be in future videos or in videos already. We have an inverter. It is not plugged into this test bench right now. And we have a solar charge controller. It is also not plugged into this test bench right now. We're gonna have a video on a LiTime charge controller that's gonna go in place of that. So make sure you click the subscribe button down below the video. It's free, and then you'll know when the next video comes out on that solar charge controller. Well, it's a brand new morning and the weather has changed. It's actually supposed to snow here. Good morning, everybody. Let's go check on that battery and see how much power we were able to get out of it. LiTime battery. Load device, what did we get? It looks like 10 hours, 25 minutes, 55 seconds, 10 and a half hours roughly, and we pulled 104.81 amp hours out of a 100 amp hour battery. This thing worked out really well. Now we need to start recharging it, and we don't have a whole lot of sunlight this morning, and this is the solar charge controller. And I'm just gonna plug this thing in. So I'm gonna take this input line from the battery, and I'm gonna plug it into the output line, and now we're actually pulling power from the battery. That's interesting. So just disconnecting it and reconnecting it, I'm actually getting a little bit more power out of this battery. You know, doing a little bit of a reset there. Let's see how long we can run that, see how much more power we can get out. So what I was gonna do was I was gonna plug the solar panels right here into the input and start recharging the battery. But I had left this thing on the 10 amp drain, and when I unplugged this, it reset the BMS, and I plugged it back in. It's not good voltage. I mean, it's 10.6. It'll do some stuff for you, but that should be 12. So the cutoff is 10 volts. So if we can get that thing half a volt down, it should cut off again, and we'll get more power out. We're already at 104.98, 99, climbing, 105. Let's just keep running this, and then I'll plug it into the solar panel. Well, I didn't think that would take long, and it didn't. So we've reset it and re-drained it, 105.46. Let's do that one more time, because we can. Count to 10, plug it back in. Oh, she's dead. Awesome. All right, now, you saw how overcast it was outside. Let's take the solar panels and see how much draw we can get out of those guys. All right, she's warming up. 10.3, 10.4. This one here says 10.2. It's getting there. Now let's see. Volts, watt hours. That's the load. 1 amp into the battery. That's all we're getting out of that sun in the overcast today is 1 amp. So that's 400 watts of solar panels on the roof in a completely overcast dark sky day with snow in the forecast in New Mexico in March. I'll take 1 amp out of the no sun available situation all day long. But the battery's charging back up. We've taken it to a full drain. We've drained it some more. We tried to drain it one more time after that, and we're now putting power back into it. This thing is awesome. You know, even though we have sun, it is still good to have some plug-ins and some chargers if you want to charge things like this up really fast. So I'm going to put this back on the charger, and we're going to let it run and get it done. All right, full charge, full discharge. She passes the tests. I like it. There is a discount code in the description down below. It is L4L5. Like living for a living, maybe? That's how I came up with that code, because it's 5% off. Sometimes I even outsmart myself. If you want to see the video where I hooked 2 of these batteries up together to get me 200 amp hours of power on the tongue of my trailer, I will leave that one right over here. I'll see you over there.